Have you ever wondered what it would be like if an action icon like Donnie Yen faced off against the legendary Bolo Yung? Both are martial arts powerhouses with impressive backgrounds, and their skills aren't all that different. It's often said that both have a solid grasp of Tai Chi techniques, but their expertise extends far beyond that. Donnie Yen has a strong foundation in Wushu, known for its fluid, acrobatic movements, while Bolo Yung is widely recognized for his mastery of Wing Chun, an art built on speed and close-range combat. With such contrasting martial arts styles, the question remains, in a real street fight, who would come out on top? If such a showdown were to happen, Donnie Yen would undoubtedly prove to be a formidable opponent for Bolo Yeung. And there's a good reason for that. Since childhood, Donnie has undergone rigorous training in Tai Chi, seamlessly blending it with Wushu techniques. This unique combination has granted him exceptional speed and precision. In one of his films, he showcases an awe-inspiring blend of rapid attacks and devastating strikes, cementing his reputation as a truly dangerous fighter. The fusion of Tai Chi's fluidity with Wushu's explosive power has made Donnie an incredibly difficult adversary to defeat. His fighting skills are elevated to an exceptional level, making him a force to be reckoned with. But what truly sets him apart is his mastery of grappling techniques, executed with such precision and force that they often leave his opponents writhing in pain. One of Donnie Yen's most impressive moments came when he squared off against none other than the legendary boxer Mike Tyson. In their cinematic showdown, Tyson's signature boxing style initially put Yen on the defensive. With his raw power and relentless attacks, Tyson forced Yen to focus entirely on defense. But Donnie wasn't one to back down. Steeling himself, he assumed his strongest stance and invited Tyson to come at him. Surprisingly, this calculated move turned the tide of the fight. Yen's stance allowed him to absorb Tyson's punches while skillfully countering with his own. The battle didn't stop there. Yen expertly transitioned to grappling, unleashing a relentless flurry of strikes that even the boxing legend struggled to counter. Another thrilling fight scene featuring Donnie Yen took place deep within a dense forest, where he faced an incredibly fearsome opponent. This battle was no easy feat. Donnie had to contend with an enemy wielding razor-sharp iron claws and astonishing speed. A single scratch could have put him in serious jeopardy, turning the tide of the fight in an instant. His opponent's relentless and cunning nature eventually led to Donnie sustaining a deep claw wound on his waist. The situation could have taken a turn for the worse had he been struck again. However, Donnie's resilience and fighting spirit never wavered. Utilizing his expertise in Tai Chi and Wushu, he skillfully executed a grappling technique that left his opponent writhing in agony. Ultimately, a devastating and well-timed kick brought the battle to an end, toppling his iron-clawed adversary once and for all. Despite Donnie Yen's skills, Bolo Yeung is no less formidable. With his deep mastery of Tai Chi blended with Wing Chun and his powerful physique, he presents an immense challenge for any opponent. In one particular fight, Bolo Yeung faced off against a skilled adversary. At first, both fighters engaged in combat using weapons, testing each other's technique and strategy. It didn't take long for Bolo to gain the upper hand. His remarkable proficiency in wielding a staff allowed him to land several precise strikes, gradually wearing down his opponent. As the fight escalated, Bolo launched an even fiercer assault, leaving his opponent struggling to counter and eventually overwhelmed. After a relentless series of attacks, his opponent collapsed to the ground, unable to continue the fight, marking another decisive victory for Bolo Yeung. Perhaps that fight seemed one-sided because Bolo's opponent didn't possess the same impressive muscle mass as he did. This time, however, Bolo faced an adversary who was equally muscular, setting the stage for a much more balanced showdown. Initially, both fighters clashed using wooden staffs, demonstrating their strength and precision. However, some may have noticed that Bolo seemed to be gaining the upper hand with his swift and controlled movements. Even so, the tide of battle took an unexpected turn. As Bolo blocked an incoming strike, his opponent's staff suddenly transformed into a sword, catching him off guard and inflicting an injury. Despite the setback, Bolo refused to back down. Instead, he retaliated with a series of powerful attacks, pushing his opponent onto the defensive and forcing him into retreat. In the end, Bolo's relentless strikes proved too much, and his opponent was left unable to continue the fight. Now, you might be wondering how Bolo Yung would perform in a real-life fight. Fortunately, there's an actual recorded match where Bolo steps into the ring. Without further ado, let's take a look at this highly anticipated encounter. Surprisingly, Bolo's opponent in this match is none other than Samuel Walls. Even more astonishing is how aggressively Walls challenges him right from the start. Could this be an indication that Bolo Yeung might be in trouble? However, Bolo is not one to be easily intimidated. He quickly counters with a series of powerful attacks, sending Walls crashing to the ground, unable to withstand the sheer force. But the fight wasn't over yet. Bolo follows up with a crushing kick that leaves Walls motionless on the ring floor, sealing a decisive victory. With the unique strengths and impressive fighting styles of both Donnie Yen and Bolo Yeung, the question remains, who would emerge victorious in a real street fight? Many martial arts analysts believe that Donnie Yen has the edge in such a scenario. His incredible speed, vast arsenal of techniques, and extensive experience in taking on larger, stronger opponents give him a strategic advantage. However, if Bolo Yeung manages to close the gap and fully utilize his immense physical strength, the fight could quickly become an uphill battle for Donnie. Bolo's raw power and resilience could present serious challenges that might be difficult for Donnie to overcome. That being said, Donnie Yen's exceptional agility and sharp tactical intelligence could be his greatest weapons. His ability to swiftly evade Bolo's attacks while landing precise, calculated strikes might ultimately secure his victory. In the end, the outcome of this highly anticipated fight would largely depend on how well each fighter adapts and capitalizes on their respective strengths under the unpredictable and chaotic conditions of a street fight.